In a different section, we talked about how Pardot nurturing works and the importance of getting an email for a valid customer. In everything you do, getting customers' emails is pretty important. It's important for you too because the system will market to those customers while you're doing nothing and just letting it be and working on other customers. So getting customers' emails when you don't have them is really important to all of the organization and to yourself. So the question is, how do you get a customer to give you an email? And the answer is really simple. It's going to appear right there on my board. I want you to remember this. It's going to seem really simple, but it's really important and it's the key. You need to say the following exactly to a customer. Ready? Write this down. What's your email address? Yep. Write it down. That's what you say. Not, can you give me your email address? Or do you have an email address? Or would you like to give me your email address? No. What's your email address? That's it. It works on a psychological principle. See, if you ask the question, can you give me your email address? Almost always the answer is going to be no. But if you say, what's your email address? Then the person has two choices. Either give you their email address or argue with you on why they won't. And it's just easier psychologically for people to just give you the email address. In Las Vegas, Nevada, there's these people that stand on the street and they give out cards for kind of disreputable places, but there's a lot of them. And as tourists walk by, they go flick, flick, and they just hand you the card. It's really striking. Everybody who's been to Las Vegas knows about these people. But the thing is, somebody going flick, flick, and handing you a card, everybody just takes one. It's the natural tendency to just grab this card. Even though you don't want it, you haven't asked for it, you don't know why they're handing it to you. But until you know better, until you've been there enough to know I don't want that, then the natural reaction is just to take it. And it's the same kind of principle. What's your email address? Oh, and they give it to you. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It's going to seem counterintuitive to you. Now, to alleviate your fears, we don't do anything malicious with these emails. Number one, we don't sell them to other companies, period, ever, end of story. Number two, when a customer gives us their email address, our system automatically sends them an email and it says, would you like to receive our newsletter and information about Scentmark? If they say yes, then they receive our quarterly email. And potentially other emails like, let's say there's been a big hailstorm in their area. We'll send them an email saying, hey, we'd love to check out and make sure you're doing okay after the hailstorm. If they say no, then they never receive that correspondence for us. So it's what's called the double opt-in system, meaning they have to, it's actually 3 steps. They have to give us their email. Then we ask them if they'd like to receive emails from us. And then it's kind of the double opt-in is every single time we send them an email, they can click unsubscribe and they'll never receive another email from us. So we don't hound them weekly. We don't sell it. They're not going to get these spam calls because they're in some database. You can alleviate your fears on that. Now, you might be talking to Secretary Sally about Bob Smith, the facilities manager. You might need to say, what's his email address? Okay. But if you ask the question, what's your email address or what's his email address, you will get it most of the time. They will give you an email address. And if they say no, they say, I don't want to give it to you, okay, move on, that's fine. They don't have to. But it's going to be so much easier for you and so much easier for them if you just say, what's his email address? Or what's your email address? End of story. Most people make this far more complicated than it needs to be. But if you do that, you will get your quota, your goal of emails every time. It's so easy. It's the easiest thing you'll do. End of story.